What's going on, everybody? Doc Average Gamer Guys back again. Some more Escape from Tarkov news. So we're going to jump into it today. We're going to talk about some additional balancing changes that Escape from Tarkov and BSG just posted yesterday by the time you're seeing this. We're going to jump into it. It's pretty light, but there's some really good stuff here. And then I just got a couple of comments at the end kind of talking about where this game is continuing to progress towards and what I'm hopeful for. So without further ado, let's talk Tarkov. All right, so jumping in full screen here, this came out by the time you're watching this the day prior, yesterday, and is essentially these three sets of balance changes. Now, what's really interesting up front, if you're not familiar or you don't pay too much attention to BSG and kind of like Tarkov news, this type of information has never been put together in this fashion and then from BSG delivered, which is really interesting, and I think a good step forward. Do we need this level of detail for everything? I don't think so. Some people probably disagree with me. I don't think we need that level of detail for everything, but when changes like this occur, I think it's really nice that they put this information snapshot together, and I'm really thankful for that. And I hope for the sake of the player base and everybody, I hope they continue to do things like this. This is the kind of like communication that I think everybody is asking for, just so we have a better understanding of kind of like what's driving it. I don't need all of the details behind it, but this is certainly a very good start, and I'm really happy to see them doing this. So let's get into it. Adjusted base price for items. That's probably the biggest thing out of this whole few minutes I'm going to talk about it is that, and we'll spend some time looking at that. They did adjust some weights of some backpacks to match their real life weights. Okay, cool. And then they adjusted rarity and spawn chance for some weapons. This, I don't know if it's going to have an impact this wipe. I don't know if we'll feel it that much. What's interesting, though, is I think it is going to be a lot nicer come a future wipe if these things stay the same. So let's jump into the screenshots here. This is the weight adjustments for the backpacks. A lot of them went up, some of them went down. It kind of is what it is. I really don't think most people will notice this. Some of the bigger backpacks actually look like they kind of got, well, Mystery Ranch went up a little bit. This went down. Tasmanian went way down. Some of these had some pretty significant. The attack backpack went way down. So there's some good stuff. The giant couch backpack also got a pretty big bump down. Some of them went up. I don't think that's huge. Probably won't even notice, but that's cool that they shared this. This is weapon rarity and spawn chance. Essentially what you have is the before and the afters. You can head over to Escape from Tarkov or Battlestate Games Twitter and check these out again. I'm not going to run over all of them. What I think is interesting is things like this. I was talking about how I think some of these things are going to impact next wipe significantly or more significantly than we'll feel it now. Most people have what they need from weapons and so on and so forth. The cool part here is we see that the MP153 shotgun, which you need at the beginning of a fresh wipe, and you need a few of them, used to be a rare with a spawn chance of 7. Now, I don't know 7, 12, 1, 4. I'm guessing the lower the number, the less likely it was to spawn. The higher the number, the more likely it is to spawn. I think that's fair from what we can see from this chart. What's nice is it's shifted into the common rarity with a spawn chance of 7. So seems like still, pretty high, but now it's a common weapon spawn, which just, I think, is going to make it more common on scavs, which is awesome. What they didn't talk about specifically is where are these going to spawn, containers, on scavs, etc., etc. I would assume, and I could be way off here, I would assume it's broad-based to all of the places that these things can spawn, but that might not be accurate, so that's just a guess. But that's really cool. 153 shotguns going into that category. Some of these other things just becoming more common. Another nice one is this AK-74N becoming more common. You need one of those, so that's really cool. PM pistols, I think, actually got a little bit of a nerf. That might be on the next page. Saw those maybe go the opposite direction. Where are those bad boys at? Maybe it was on this one. Makarov right here. So it dropped down a little bit, but again, it still feels common enough that you're going to find these everywhere. What it also seems like from this dispersion, at least just from a snapshot, is that there's going to just be a lot more parity for a lot of the weapons. You're going to see some stuff, as always, or commonly, but it's going to be, I think, a little bit better balance, and we'll see a nicer mix, I hope, of weapons on scavs. Obviously, with player scavs and stuff in the mix, I feel like you see a pretty good mix of weapons, but on regular scavs, it can feel pretty stale, scavs having a lot of the same weapons, so that's pretty cool. They also obviously adjusted some of the rare ones. It's interesting to see things like the HKG36, the M4. Now, again, this probably has an impact, I would guess, on raiders and rogues potentially. So it'll be kind of interesting to see, but some of these things got huge buffs, like the RFB coming up as a big one. That's pretty neat. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, so let me know what you think. That's pretty cool. It's also interesting to see some of these things are super rare, and I'm fine with that too. Should be kind of neat that some of that stuff jumps in there, but that's cool. That's good changes. And then lastly, this is the biggest change. If you're not familiar, base price adjustments, what this does is it essentially affects two things. It affects what the common price that a trader will buy it for, in addition to what it can be sold on the flea market for. The higher the base price, the higher it can be listed, and then subsequently from that, the lower the fee will be. There's a diminishing return point at some point when you get to the top end or too high above the base sell price. Then essentially your fee is designed to basically balance out, so it kind of puts a ceiling on it, if you will, but obviously you can sell items for as cheap as you want. And now with all of the barters being gone in the game, these really, really expensive items needed some good adjustments. So you can see body armor repair kit, that one took a big jump up. 600,000 feels pretty rare. That's about what they're selling for anyways. LEDXs, they typically sell for about $1 million anyways, or around there. So this is going to be nice if you don't need it for a quest or don't need it for your hideout. You put one in your container and you end up dying. You're going to now be able to make some decent money off this thing from the trader, which is like absolutely huge. They made some good changes to some keys, I think, that definitely needed it. Car dealership closed section key was very expensive because it's a tough to find key. Check 15 key if you don't know about that one. I don't know what rock you're living under, but these are good base adjustments for that. Blue folder materials, haven't looked for these a ton. I do have one of them, but these going up is good. Weapon case, decent little adjustment there, up to $1 million. I think that's certainly more reasonable for that. Abandoned factory marquee got a bump. The Taiga definitely needs to go up. People still sell this for crazy. And then Red Bull also getting a nice little jump. So there's definitely more they could do here, but with these really high price value items, this is a really, really nice change. And again, this is just smart, and this is just a good balance move in terms of continuing to just move the game in the right direction for the changes that they're making. To remove barters, you have to do something about base price, because now some of the things, again, like a LEDX is a perfect example. If you can't put it on the flea market, it almost hurts to have to sell it to like therapists for 485. Now it's 970,000. So that makes it worth it. I like that. That's what we got. That's the news. That's where we're at. We're 9 minutes in. Let me just spend 1 or 2 minutes talking about, I have really appreciated the changes. Tarkov TV, the broadcast that they did a couple of days ago. If you haven't checked it out, I've got 2 videos covering it. One just running through what they covered. A second one going in depth on Arena, if you're interested to see the new trailer and kind of some things that I pulled out from it. Go check those out. I'll probably throw up some cards here. I think they're focused on the right things. It feels like finally they're rewriting base code. They're doing a lot for networking and all of the things that people have complained about to put the game in a better state. I think Arena's probably driving some of this because they've probably started to really do some playtesting and realize we can't have a bunch of desync in a fast-paced FPS arena shooter. So they had to make some changes there, which all of those things I think are good. And then to see stuff like this and be able to get just information we haven't been able to see before in a nice, concise package is awesome. Again, this will spur some questions. There's going to be loud people out there that certainly want to know more. But this is good from a communication standpoint. Just keep it up. Just keep letting us know what's going on. Keep some of the stuff a secret some of the fun event things and all that stuff, that's great. I love that Nikita does that. Doesn't give everything away for the changes and what we're gonna see. But in terms of like just normal everyday things that we deal with, this type of information is great. And I'm riding the copium train. I'm really, really hopeful for this game going forward, and I hope you are too. If you're burned out on this wipe, take a break. I think next wipe is going to be, I hope, a really nice breath of fresh air, especially if they get all these big changes done. And I'm hoping we're going to see some of that stuff here relatively soon. They talked about next major technical patch. Some of the stuff should start getting implemented, which is really, really neat. So I'm excited for it. We've got a couple more months. We are starting to get into some of the events. If you haven't played, there's a therapist event going on right now, and I expect we'll start to see some weekend stuff crop up, or the Thursday to Tuesday stuff start to jump in there. Hopefully they're all good. They're probably not all going to be good, but hopefully we start to see some fun ones there. And with the Chronicles of Rigi going on, and the new chapters and the new videos, that's pretty cool too. So some stuff should tie into that pretty nicely. But let me know what you think. Hopefully you're excited for some of this information. Quick little Let's Talk Tarkov kind of news update. And yeah, just appreciate the support. Again, if you're interested in Tarkov TV stuff and you haven't checked it out, go check those videos out for me. Throw a like, comment, do all that good stuff for the YouTube algorithm. I do appreciate it. Really do appreciate all the support. Hopefully you stick around. If you do, check out our Hardcore and our Escape, which is a solo standard playthrough series that we got going, that we're running some stuff. Been having some fun, making some nice progress there. I'm gonna flash some socials as always, links in the description. Come check us out live, Twitch, do all that good stuff. Follow our Twitter if you want to stay up to date with the info. With that, close it out. Doc, Average Gamer Guys, as always, thanks for watching. Catch you next Escape Tarkov video. Peace.